A new drug containing cannabis has been approved for sale here in New Zealand. Sativex, which helps alleviate some of the symptoms of multiple sclerosis, is the first medicinal marijuana product to be made legal here. The British makers of the drug admit it does have strong side effects, including, not surprisingly, a cannabis-like high. But the manufacturers haven't applied to have it subsidised, meaning its high cost could put it out of reach for many of this country's 4,000 MS sufferers. Well, joining me on the phone from Tauranga is complementary medicines expert Dr. Shaun Holt. Thanks so much for joining us this evening, Doctor. This is the first time cannabis has been allowed here for medicinal purposes. Does it represent a major step forward or perhaps backwards, depending on your point of view?
Oh, look, I mean, this is a very hot topic and emotional subject for many people. My personal opinion is that, around half of our prescription drugs do come from the natural world, mostly from plants, and there are lots of reports and research on the benefits of cannabis, and so I'm all for this move.
Okay, the medicine doesn't actually cure or even particularly treat the problem of MS, does it? It's a management tool, I guess.
That's right. It doesn't cure sort of any condition, really, that it's used for, but what it can do is help with relief of symptoms such as pain and muscle spasticity, and also help with quality of life. So, in some situations, I think there are benefits. So
then is it effectively just a really strong, really expensive joint in a spray form?
It is, really. And, I mean, this is one of the many issues, is that the product that's been made available contains 2 compounds, whereas cannabis itself contains over 300 compounds. So maybe people might not get all the benefits. But I think it's a good step forward. The product's been well researched. It's been released after a period of time, and I think that's the way forward.
Unsurprisingly, there's a lot of online chatter. Users are excited about this idea of having this new product. Yep. Clearly, then, there'll be some risks around the management of this drug and it perhaps falling into the wrong hands.
Of course there are. So I guess there are 2 issues, really, to medical use of cannabis. One is the medical side of things, where I think it's pretty straightforward. There are benefits and risks which can be weighed up, and for some people the benefits will be better, particularly, for example, those also, as well as MS, with chronic pain or cancer, have found lots of benefits. But they've also got the political and the regulatory side as well, which has to be handled.
Well, exactly. I mean, can we read anything into the fact that the manufacturers haven't applied to have this subsidised?
No, I'm not a regulatory expert, so I'm guessing that they didn't want to chance their arm. They wanted to get it to the market and get some patient experience. The minister and the Ministry of Health to get used to cannabis being available, and maybe in time it may be subsidised. But you're quite right. At this stage, it's probably out of the price range of a lot of people who'd want to use it.
Well, we're only the 4th country in the world to accept this drug. If it's so effective, why aren't more countries bringing it in?
I say it's really a political issue in terms of the medical side of things. I think there's no doubt that for certain people there are lots of benefits. I used to work in a chronic pain clinic, and often smoking marijuana was far, far more effective for pain than some of the strongest opiate or morphine-based painkillers out there. So it has a place, but politicians and regulators are very nervous.
OK, we have to wrap, but is this a step towards normalising the use of marijuana, do you think?
Well, that's another issue in terms of everyday use, but certainly from the medical side of things, which is I'm interested in, there's good research for certain groups of patients, as I say, with cancer and chronic pain and multiple sclerosis. I think if it helps those people and the benefits are greater than the risk, then I'm certainly all for it.
All right, thanks for that. Dr. Shaun Holt, an expert on complementary medicine there.